Yo, what's good, guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, man. We missed you. Welcome to the family. I drop tutorials just like this pretty much every single day. Today, we're going to be talking about the one thing that is ruining your mixes. So if you do this, let's check it out. All right, let's spoil it right off the bat. What that is soloing too much, using that solo function, processing your vocals or any instrument, any track entirely in solo for the whole time. That's ruining your mixes, and I'll tell you why. The short answer is solo doesn't matter. What any one thing sounds like soloed, nobody's ever going to hear that. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. You can solo out a guitar and make it sound perfect, and then when it's in the context of the mix, it's not going to sound the same because everything reacts together. The frequency overlaps, right? So what anything sounds like in solo does not matter. So it wouldn't make any sense to solo something and process it, then drop it back into the mix, and now you gotta rework it or start from scratch entirely. So you're just chasing your tail. It's completely counterproductive. Another thing is it's going to really slow your learning and your ear training. Take, for example, EQing. That's one thing that people like to solo a lot so they can really hear the frequencies. If you're doing this, you're not going to hear how the frequencies react with everything else, and that is a useful skill to have. And if you're always soloing something, you're going to just slow down the process of deciphering the frequencies, learning how they react with each other, learning when to boost one frequency or cut it in another element. All these useful things that you will encounter eventually, you're going to be hindering yourself and slowing your learning process if you're always soloing to EQ, or really anything for that matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you a little vocal example here. This is from my song. My artist name is Inswain. The title of it is No Way. And what I'm going to do is, this is the mix session. It's not mastered, but I'm going to play you a little snippet of the mix, and you'll hear it fully mixed process. Sounds great. And then I'll play you the vocals soloed, and we're going to listen and hear how off they sound and how many things we would hear that we would change, but it doesn't make sense because they're not a problem in the context of the mix. So I'll show you that right here.
Bills that came in a new way. She like, can you change it? I'm like, no way. I don't know your name, it's holding no way. 100 bills that came in a new way. 100 bills that came in a new way. She like, can you.
All right, so it sounds good, sounds professional. It's that upfront, in-your-face rap vocal, that modern style. Cool. I'm not here to just brag about my mix. That's not the point of this video. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to solo the vocal, same processing, and let you hear it, and I'll point out all the things that sound off that if I were mixing in solo, I would change, but would actually be hindering it in the overall mix.
100 bills that came in a new way. She like, can you change it? I'm like, no way. I don't know your name, it's holding no way. 100 bills that came in a new way. 100 bills that came in a new way. She like.
So that's what it sounds like soloed. So if I was soloing and mixing it, I might think this is over compressed. This is too compressed, too saturated, too mid forward, too many mids, or any of these things like mouth noises or something. But in the context of the mix, you don't hear that, or you hear it differently. Like, we need it to be compressed and saturated and mid forward to cut through the instrumental and to how it reacts with the melody and etc. So that's a perfect example of, if I were to solo that, I would have mixed it completely differently and it wouldn't have sounded as good. And this goes for any element in any song, not just vocals and not just on this song. This is true for everything. So now that we got that out of the way, I am not telling you to never use the solo function, and I'm not saying that I never use it. It is there for a reason, and utilize it. What I recommend you use it for is when you're mixing with the whole mix in entirety. You got your melodies, your instruments, your drums, vocals, whatever, and you hear an issue that you want to fix, or you hear something you want to change. Go and do it with the entire mix playing. Now let's say I hear an issue in my vocal, and I'm like, there's something in the low mids, for example, that I need to attenuate, remove. So I would pull up an EQ, try to find it while the mix is playing. If I can't pinpoint that exact frequency, that's when it's okay to solo, to find it in solo, because you heard the issue or you heard the thing that you wanted to change in the context of the entire mix. It's then okay to use solo to hunt it down and to find that specific problem or frequency or whatever it may be. But the point is that we found it, or we heard it, or heard the lack thereof in the context of the mix, not in solo. Because if you solo things, you're going to find problems that don't actually exist in the mix, and you're going to process way differently. You might under process this, over process that, right? It's just going to cause a lot of problems. So mix with the entire mix playing. And then if you need to use solo to find a problem that you heard in the context of the entire mix, then it's okay to use solo. That's just how I feel about it. Let me know if that makes sense or what you do. Hopefully you took something from this. My name is Inswain with Inswain Audio. See y'all tomorrow, man. Peace.